we're ready to go charge down dirty Babylon. Hey, we ready when you ready, yeah man. We say we ready when you ready, yeah man. We say we ready when you're ready. A long time we're ready to go charge down dirty Babylon.
Now what you know, I shot you there and far places, and I sight on hungry for faces. One in a Gideon boot and a military suit in a highly alone, my babies.
Welcome the female version of David. Pharaoh and Goliath in a play with. I'm standing all alone with a round with a spoon to go but Satan head like a king. This is no judge, no party, no pulling and fight. Pussy Babylon in a them room and cry. From your district get the youth to see them rules apply. Them standing as snipers so when I fight.
This is Blackout Pharaoh video.
Ready when you ready, yeah man. What you know we ready when you ready, yeah man. We say we ready when you're ready. A long time we ready to go charge down dirty Babylon. Hey, we ready when you're ready, yeah man. We say we ready when you're ready, yeah man. We say we ready when you're ready. A long time we ready to go charge down dirty Babylon.
Now what you know, I shot you there and far places, and I sight on hungry for faces. One in a Gideon boot and a military suit in a highly alone, my babies.
Welcome the female version of David. Pharaoh and Goliath in a play with. I'm standing all alone with a round with a spoon to go but Satan head like a king. This is no judge, no party, no pudding and pie. Dirty Babylon in a them room.
This is Blackout Pharaoh video.
See them rules apply. Them standing as snipers so when I fight alone. We say we ready when you ready, yeah man. Look you know we ready when you ready, yeah man. We say we ready when you're ready. A long time we're ready to go charge down dirty Babylon. Yes, we ready when you're ready, yeah man. We say we ready when you're ready, yeah man. We say we ready when you're ready. A long time we're ready to go charge down dirty Babylon.
So me say so no baby, jump it and go raise the alarm. And wake up every soldier from the barracks and them down. Respect of righteousness and not the absent of harm. The Gideon starts in us in his command.
Leading out a platoon of a thousand man road. Set up the ambush, Babylon a pass soon. Critically we are left with open hold. But them in the visual and rifle and soon. No party, no pulling and fight. Babylon can't make them youth a cry. Yeah. They get the youth to see them rules apply. Them standing as snipers over.
Yes, karibuni sana family to the Blackout Radio Media for the 21st century. It is on a Thursday, the 2nd day of December, right here on the 254 Karibuni sana. This is the Pan-African Bliss. My name is Joby. In case you're joining us for the first time, I want to appreciate you. We're looking forward to interacting with you on our social media handles on Facebook at the Blackout Network Radio Station, on Twitter, and also on Instagram. It is 16 minutes to 1 p.m. right in the 254. It is raining so heavily, and there's a lot of mud, a lot of traffic. But we want to appreciate you for joining us today. And I can see Keith in the building. Good morning, Keith.
Good morning, Joby. Don't you look rather lovely today.
Thank you. Thank you so much. How are you doing?
I'm okay. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm just excited about tomorrow. Yes, that's what I can really say.
I'm excited about tomorrow too. You know one thing about Sagittarius. So like the last. That's hilarious. Like the last, my wife was a Sagittarius. The one serious relationship I had before I got married, that woman was a Sagittarius. Mm-hmm. One thing I know about Sagittarius is they're always fun to travel. Sagittarius love to travel.
I do, man. I love.
Sagittarius love that. They're always the funnest people. I will admit this. Sagittarius is always the funnest people to travel with. They're lively. They're always. If you're going to travel with somebody, family, find you a Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a fun to travel with.
I know that's right. Personally, I love long trips. I don't care how long it is or how tired I'm going to get, but I just love walking around.
You guys go on a long trip 2 weeks from the day. It's 2 weeks from the day you guys will be leaving. So we got to make sure we get you guys. I got to make sure the protocols, it's stuck up so fast. We got to get you guys tickets. Next week, we got to get you guys temporary passports. We got to get, wow, it got here so fast. Wow.
Yeah. We're already here and we're so excited and waiting for it. We're so excited about it.
Yeah, I always feel excited. It'll be your first, you guys first, you and Katie's first time out the country. Understand what a wonderful experience it is when you guys are young, because most Kenyans never get to leave Kenya, Joby. Understand, when you travel, it opens your horizon. You start to get a different perspective. It broadens your horizons when you travel. So you guys will get a better perspective of how other Africans live, and you will see that you're still one people, even though you've been divided from each other with these fake borders. But it gives you a perspective that most Kenyans, because we've been put in poverty, do not get the chance to ever have.
Sure, I totally agree with you, because most of us are, and I think also if I'm saying, if personally, if I didn't walk out of my comfort zone and just I decided to do life my own way, because my dad and me growing up with our really grown up, and of course with the area that I've really grown up on, I've seen people, you study there, you're born there, you study there, you go to the hospital there, you never go beyond what you can see. So you find that your mind will never be able to open up in different ways. But when I decided to walk out from where I'm born and raised, I began seeing things, and I began wanting to work smart and work hard to get to the point I really want in life, because nothing comes easily. That is what I can really say. Nothing comes easily.
Well, that's true. That's why poverty has been so crushing for African people globally. Even in America, African people do not travel. They've never been anywhere. I'm talking about people, as you know, in the United States, we got states, right? 50 states. These states, some of these states are as big as countries, right? So some black people have never left the state that they were born in. And I mean, old black people, I found that shocking when I would have run into people. Cause I've been to every state in this country, and I've been all over the world. I found it shocking when I came across older black people who never left their state. I was like, and I would meet them and say, years ago I was in a state called Virginia, right? I was talking to this older black man, this older African man. I said, hey man, he said, man, you done traveled all over the country. I said, I done traveled all over the world. He said, you know what? I've never left Virginia. And it just blew my mind. I was like, what? I was like in my early 30s at the time. I said, what? You never left Virginia? He said, nah, brother, I never been out of Virginia. I said, North Carolina is nothing but 15 miles, or that would be 15 miles, I think it's like 20 kilometers. I said, the next state is number like 20 kilometers south of you. You've never been to North Carolina? He's like, nah, bro, I've never been to North Carolina. I said, wow, that's crazy to me. I said, wow, that's crazy.
But I think personally I can say with I don't know, even Kate, maybe she can relate with me, but when you're growing up as a lady, you're growing up in one area, you're not able to expose yourself, rather even free, just feel free with yourself, even with the way maybe with your fashion and everything. You find
I understand what you're saying, Joe, but the culture has become, I know exactly what you're saying. The culture has become constricted to women. That's not African culture. That's European culture now being imposed to African people. But go ahead, Joe. I understand exactly what you're saying. Being a female, you're expected not to dress a certain way, and you're expected not to go too far because you're a lady and you're not allowed to have true independence. I know exactly that's non-African. But you don't know that no more because we got colonized 160, 60, 70 years ago. That's non-African. That's non-African. But you wouldn't know that because now you're born in a system that's non-African.
You find that the moment you step out, you find that if you're trying to make your life progress, and it's kind of different from what people ever expected from you. You, as a lady, you're being called either you are a hooker, or rather you're doing something to get, either using your body in a different way to get money. There's a lot of questions raised in the society and in the community, and I think the mentality is just so messed up. But
the mentality is low vibrational. You're talking about a bunch.
Yeah.
You're talking about being raised. You've been raised in male chauvinism, and these religions, as Doctor, as Joe, I mean, as Kate says, she doesn't know the name. We start introducing to the name of Dr. John Henry Clark. Said these religions, Christianity, Islam, are male chauvinist death cults. They're male chauvinist death cults. Is what these religions are. Male chauvinist death cults that do not respect the woman's rights or her mentality. But you'll find most black women in that goofy mosque or in that goofy church.
But I think one thing that Africans do not know is that a woman vibrates even the highest. Rather, we are superior
They
in our
don't
own.
know that.
Yeah,
They
you find
don't
that
know that.
especially in the society, we are degraded in the society where education, we are like rather women.
Okay, I want you to think about that. Okay, let's go deeper with that, Joby. So why would you think so? If the enemy knows you vibrate the highest. So why would your enemy come in to make a society to put the woman on the bottom? Why would they do that? Why do you think they would do that, Joby?
I don't know, just to confuse.
It's to make sure. It's to make sure you as black people, you never overthrow your enemy.
Exactly. Like they don't want our minds to, think beyond what we see, or rather even reason beyond what we've been told, the life that we've really grown up with. But I do believe that everything is going to change at a certain time when it comes to, the generation as we keep on growing. As I said, it starts with me, it comes to my children, to my grandchildren, because as for me, this is the path I've chosen. I'm not going back to the lies anymore. And I wouldn't want anyone who's dragging me back to those particular lies. It's already decided. And
so when you wake up, Joby, it's hard to go back. You can't go back. You can't go back to the lie, even if you wanted to, because now you know too much. You couldn't go back to the lie anyway. You would be in the church trying to live a lie, like your soul would say, "Hey, this is stupid. This is a lie." You wouldn't be able to go back to the lie, Joby. That's the same. You can't go back to the lie because you too woke up now. The Bible says, and Jesus did this and said this to the people. You're like, nah, it's a lie. It's bullshit.
But let me give the quote of the day, family, as I introduce the topics of the day. And I want to say hi to Kay Williams. He's saying, peace, Joby, look at you, all made up, ready to go out. Lol. It is 4:43 and have peace.
That's what I just said. I stopped the bit. Isn't Joby looking so lovely today?
Thank you. I appreciate you, family. I appreciate you so much. And the quote of the day says, it is time for you to start taking the necessary steps to become the version of yourself that you can't stop dreaming about. Because you find when you go back to the same state that you're talking, that when you grow up, you find that you are dreaming of some things, but you can't explore these things and you can't acquire these things because you have been made to stay in one particular point where you can't vision beyond. You can't even try to extend your talents or rather even see your abilities, face your fears, which is the most judged, because if you're trying to do something, you look like, you're crazy. It's like you're out of the culture, you're out of this, you don't belong to the society. There is a name that you are given. But for you to start, or rather to become the best version of yourself, you need to make a step forward. The choices, the same thing that I was saying, the choices you make, they'll bring you, one choice can make you what you even never even expected,
It's or like even, Joby. When you live in fear, Joby, that lowers your vibration. So that's why they gave you a religion of fear. Oh, you go to hell. Oh, if you do this. No, you don't live in fear. You have to live in confidence and knowledge. You don't live in fear. Fear lowers your vibration. That's how this wicked system is designed, to keep you fearful of everything so you stay low vibrational. No, you step outside your comfort zone, you gain knowledge, and you lose the fear.
Totally true. Because personally, I can say if I were to check way back when I was in school, actually today is on Thursday, I'm supposed to be giving a story, right? I usually forget about that. I'll be giving a story, but I just want to highlight a little bit. When I was growing up in primary, personally, I was not a talkative person. When I got to secondary, I began interacting with different people, and you learn in this. But the moment I began trying to expand more, that is when I gained confidence. And my dad was like, "No, you've already done too much. You're so exposed. You're not supposed to be doing this. You're showing your siblings a bad character. You're supposed to be an example. And this is who I am. Being confident is me doing something bad. That is one of the things that
what? See, that's whoa. What? You never tell your daughter no shit like that. Are you out of your rabbit ass mind? You make sure your daughter's confident in herself, and that's her personality. You don't restrict your child's personality. That's who they are. Everybody is a unique individual. You don't try to stifle no one's personality. You're there to contribute to who they're going to be as a parent. You're not there to stop their growth because you're only a caretaker of them. You don't own your children. You are a caretaker and guiding them in the right direction. So you don't expose your personality onto them. How you being a bad person, but now starting to express who you're going to be?
I can say one of the
crazy.
One of the things that was so difficult for him is that when I decided to walk out, because all the time I was really, really depressed, like very, very depressed, really, like I'm so depressed. I can't talk to anyone about it. My dad is not listening to me. So I decided that I want to walk out. I was even to drop out of school, but due to my stepmom, she was a good person. She encouraged me and told me, you can do this. Just get done with this with school. Then after you're done, you're already an adult. You can make your own choices. But for now, just finish school. And I had to listen. But it reached a point once I walked out and I gained, like, my confidence tripled, rather I can say it doubled. It was way beyond. And when I came back home sometime back to say hi to him, he was like, nah, you can't come back to this house, you're already exposed, you have to go back out because these are
wait, we just came back to visit. You can't come back to us because you're already exposed in what does that even mean? I don't understand what that means. I hate to say it, I'm gonna tell you, Joby, your father's a moron. With all due respect, your father's a moron. He's an idiot. And the funny part, he's probably younger than me, too. I'm like, listen here, man, you are a moron. Shut the fuck up. What are you talking about? You've already exposed. Exposed in what? What are you talking about?
That's what I'm saying. There is judgment in the society because once you are like, your mind is exposed beyond what you used to be, because
you're supposed to be exposed to everything, Joby. You're supposed to take in everything and learn from everything.
Exactly.
Your father has a small mind, small conscience, and he's a moron. That's what, and he's the majority of African men. And you wonder why we keep losing, because you got morons like that raising children. And I don't mean no disrespect because he's your father, but I'm just being honest.
Personally, I can't say that I'm really like that story. He's still my dad, yes, but he didn't see the best in me, He saw the worst in me instead of the best in me. So he kept on judging me, instilled negativity in me, telling me you can't do this. When you do this, you're out of the culture. You're trying to disrespect the culture. It is me. Be confident is not being out of the culture. That is what it is.
I haven't seen you done nothing. To me, you're completely in the culture. Hell, when we got you was a Jesus nut. So that's the majority of the goddamn culture, believing in that nutty ass Jesus shit. I don't know what you're out the culture because as a woman, you decide to speak up. You decide to make your own decisions. Mm-hmm. Is that what he's talking about? That's not African culture, you moron. But you wouldn't know that because you're raised under European culture, you moron. Mm-hmm. African woman was always told to speak up, always told to stand out. That's why I showed Katie just one African queen. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know how many African queens you had, rule African empires in Africa? No, your moronic daddy doesn't know. Sound crazy as hell.
Well, that's why I was saying that if I were to go back home and try to teach them, rather even my own siblings, I'm going to be like, pointed fingers at, that's it. We're not going to bring those nonsense right here. You have to go. You have to go. But let me start with the matters of the day that I wanted to talk about. And I think this also relates to the story that I'm talking of. And this is the end of early marriages in South Sudan. Right now, they have said that they'll come to put an end to the child marriages by 2030. And I do hope that
By
this
2030, oh wow, they're really progressive. We're going to stop child marriages in another 8 years.
yeah, 8 years. This has been ongoing actually for so long, not only in South Sudan, but I think personally I knew all this from here in Kenya, where I've really
Yeah,
grown up.
because it's disgusting. That's usually Arabic culture. That's the damn Islam shit where they marry children, all that old nasty
But
shit.
But I don't think it's only Muslims. I think even the rest of the Christian religions, or maybe even the rest of the communities, or other some countries, you find
They
that
do it.
that is one of the things
You're
that
right.
we're talking about, that women are denied, education. You find that they cannot even learn something. It's up to you to grow as a lady. And remember, you as a lady, you are worth. You're so worth in your family. That is worth in your family. That is what I can really
It's
say.
got to
Growing
be
up,
rough. I'll tell you. I can't be reincarnated in Africa as no woman, Jack, as no girl. It's rough, man. All that ignorance, you're told not to. They want to have girls now educate. Hell, Katie told me, somebody told her, hey, why are you riding a bike? It'll hurt your lady parts. Listen, get
yeah.
away from me, you moron.
I think every lady, if you're riding a bike, that is the perspective, especially if you meet with men or even young youths, men in gender. They're like, don't do that.
You're talking about a moronic society there. See, that's how bad, how far we fall in knowledge. Don't. What are you doing riding the bike, girl? You're a girl. What the hell are you talking about?
I know that is what is really happening. But I'm saying that you find that for ladies, it's up to them to grow up. You get to the adolescent period, then they find you a husband, then that is it. Your life is done. You go become a mother and a wife, and that is it. You'll never be able even to expose way beyond. But for them, I think it is a good move, but if only they did it a bit earlier, because women, we've seen even young girls coming forth complaining. Personally, there's a time when I was in Form 2, there was a lady who was being forced into marriage, and she ran away. Actually, she was a Muslim.
Oh, that's good. That's good, Michelle. They're highly educated. Are they allowed to ride a bike? I'm glad in your husband's tribe. Yeah, because your husband is Sudanese, right? Is your husband Sudanese? That's real. It was always African to make sure the woman was highly educated. Then now to say that the woman can, it's all white Arabs and white Caucasians with that group. You always educate the woman. You insane? Because the woman, let's do common sense. Let's use Jovian's common sense, right? Let's go to Google and say, do women, and this is African women too, because African women is the most superior, but let's just use do women develop faster than men? Let's ask Google that. Do women, well, that's just, we know it, but let's just ask it. Let's just see. Do women develop faster than men? Yes or no?
That's girls physically mature faster than boys on a physical level, and as well,
and also mentally. So it's because I told you, white men and all these other animal people were afraid of their women because women develop faster, and then African women are more mature, develop faster than a man. So why the hell would you think not educating your woman would be a good thing when she develops faster? You can't put a 15-year-old girl next to a 15-year-old boy, and emotionally, spiritually, and intelligently see who's the smartest. 9 times out of 10 is going to be the girl.
The abuse is literally like everywhere, everywhere. And if they say that they are to end this particular, I think even fathers contribute. You remember me talking of how young girls have come forth, speaking of how even their own dads have raped them, and you keep quiet about
Joey, please, no, I can't take that. Please.
I want you to get this story right, okay? So you find that even young girls, the parents themselves, they drag them to doing what they can't even, it was never their dream, because you've been really enforced to do this, and if you don't do it, you're cast out. You have to, you're not part of this family. That is what they say. You're not part of this family. If you can't do what we want as your parents, you're not part of this family. Where do you end up going?
That means the African is so backwards now, Joby. He's not in dealing with African culture. The African knew that the African woman developed faster. That's why in the spiritual system, the African woman was always the oracle. She was the fountain of knowledge. African woman was always called the oracle because she was the fountain of knowledge because she was the first one that could go interdimensional. So she was always highly respected. Like I was showing Spikes. We were doing that show a couple of days ago. I told you when they talk about the pharaohs, they say that wasn't the name of the king of Kemet. Pharaoh was the woman's house. As I had Spikes look that up, because you couldn't rule Kemet without the black woman's permission, Joby. You couldn't even be king without the black woman saying, okay, you're good enough to rule. If the black woman said no, you couldn't rule.
Okay. But lately you find women do not have a say even in the in the society itself. Instead, you are being beaten because, or as a sign of love. It tells you it loves you. It is really crazy.
Do me a favor, Joby. Do me a favor. Go to Google, say, what is the ancient meaning of the word Pharaoh?
Okay.
What is the ancient meaning of the word Pharaoh? It meant the woman's house because the seat of the throne was the woman. Isn't that funny? The seat of the throne was the woman. And you couldn't rule an African country without the woman's permission.
They're saying that Pharaoh from Egyptian as the Great House, originally the royal palace in the ancient Egypt, the word came to be used metronomically for the Egyptians king under the new. Okay, I don't think this is the one.
It said house. It told you house. No, white. It told you house. So when white people came into Kemet and now conquered, they thought Pharaoh meant the king. No, the king was the sultan. Pharaoh, they tell you house. They tell you palace, the house. But it was the woman's house. It was the house of the woman. The seat of power was called the woman's house. You couldn't rule without the woman's consent to govern.
And for you bringing up this, there's a question I wanted to ask you because I don't think I really know the history so much, but I'd love to know what stopped the ancient Egyptian pharaoh from building the pyramids, because I believe you remember you telling me about the big head of which symbolizes the Africans.
Yeah, but that's them. That's them. But they made them stop delivering because they were. That's very deep, Joby. So the pyramids. I start teaching about the pyramids, it'll blow your mind. I start teaching about the pyramids, it's gonna be otherworldly. It's gonna blow your mind. Now, if I start teaching about it, it's gonna start blowing your mind. What they're designed for and what they do. It's gonna start blowing your mind. Okay, pyramids, Joby.
Okay.
Okay, they built pyramids. Okay, now remember I told you come from other dimensions.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the pyramids were designed for you as a spirit being to be able to vibrate lower and inhabit a physical body.
Okay.
Okay, so, but I would have to teach you all that, Joe. But that would take a lot of time. You got time to learn that all today. Because I told you, when you need a body, you're non-physical. Told you things exist that you can't see in the non-physical. That's why no one can build pyramids today. They don't got that kind of knowledge.
Oh,
that's why you're not smart enough to build no pyramid today.
Go on.
Exactly, because white people thought they were tombs. But they said, these are tombs. There ain't no tombs. Ain't no bodies in there. Ain't nobody building any bodies in there. It also was free electrical sites. They would give free energy. So it means Kemet, 5,000 and 6,000 years ago, Joby, was fully lighted. It's also a power station. So they learned all these things now, how advanced the African was, how advanced the society was.
Okay,
Whereas those,
I bet that will learn for another time. It
yeah,
seems it's needs
yeah,
much deeper
yeah, and
attention
that's
and
too
taking
long.
some time.
Yeah,
But
that take you a long time to teach you all that, and then you
let me
start
move on. Uh-huh.
teaching that, you be like, damn.
Let me move on to other matters of the day, and I wanted to talk about the climate change which is happening in Africa. And you find that in countries like Eritrea, we have Ethiopia, we also have right here in Kenya. You find that most of the people right now are dying due to hunger, and you ask yourself. Right now, there is a lot of rain in the 254. I don't know about other
That has
countries, but you
nothing to do.
find
That has nothing to do. That has nothing to do with climate. There's no such thing as climate
I
change
know,
anyway.
I know,
Things work
I
in
know.
cycles. But
So, mhm.
it's because of mismanagement. Kenya has enough land and to feed everybody. Should nobody be starving in Kenya? That means you got mismanagement of the land because of the puppet leaders, Joby. There's enough
So,
land that doesn't have drought that can grow everything Kenya needs over and over again, over and over again. But
but
the land is owned by Europeans, and all that food goes to Europe.
exactly. Exactly. That is what I wanted to talk about because you find that Africa is rich, especially when it comes to our soil. Our soil is capable of, we are capable of farming. We are capable of producing. We have farming each and
Let's
every
say,
in every
let's look
area.
this
But
up too again, then, Joe. But let's look this up. There you go. Should nobody ever be starving in Africa? This is another thing. Look this up and go say, does Africa have the most arable land in the world? I know the answer is yes. That means Africa's even got the richest farmland in the world. So why are people starving in Africa? Africa has the most arable farmland in the world. So that means Africa has the best land for growing stuff.
it does.
That means you got mismanaged. That means you got mismanagement of the land.
Personally, so far, I think it's been a period of
Ain't no,
over 2 months. I've bumped into a friend who does rather is associated something to do with farming, and the way they do their farming, most of these products they are not even sold right here in Kenya. They are transported to China, to France, to the
exactly.
UK. So you ask yourself, it is really crazy because with the profit of which they're supposed to be making, and you ask them, what profit are you making out of all this? Because you have to harvest, you have to package for them, all these resources. How much do you have to gain back? It is quite little when you compare with what is being transported. It's a big amount. It's like me taking like a 10 or rather even 100 sacks of maize, to the air or rather to UK, but I have to get like I'm expecting to get maybe 100,000, but I get 50 or maybe 30 of what I've really made. So you find that you're not even making any
No,
progress, or you're not
nope,
growing in any way. You're stuck
nope.
in the
Because
same place.
exactly, you're stuck in the
People,
same. You're exactly right. Go ahead, Jim. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
you become like, we are the slaves, like we still slaves like under the European people, under the white people. We work for them
Exactly.
the most, they gain the most, which is so crazy, so crazy. But they're saying that with the question that does Africa have the best heritable farmland, they're not giving the direct answer, but they're not giving the
Just say,
direct answer.
just say. Does Africa have the most arable land? That means don't say farmland because arable land is farmland. Just say
Okay,
arable. Africa have the most arable land.
all right.
And the answer is going to be yes, yes, yes. Ain't it funny? Did nobody starve in Africa until the white man showed up?
Mm-hmm.
Good
They're saying
stuff.
Africa has more than its a fair share of small economics because no, not this really. With a profound demographic shift in Africa from rural areas to the cities, we are where half of the Africans live is 20. Okay, no, they're not giving me the right answer. Totally. Mm-hmm.
What are you typing in there for search? It should say does Africa have the
Because
most?
Africa
Let's
has
say,
the most arable land.
oh, put like this. Put like this. Which continent has the most arable land? Which continent?
Okay.
Which continent has the most arable land? It's going to say Africa.
Right, continent. It's raining right here in Kenya. Right now it is raining.
Now this crazy. Your internet is working good as hell. It's been terrible all 2 weeks. It's raining and the internet's working good as hell. What the hell's going on?
They are saying that I've asked which continent has the most irritable land, and they're saying that humans and humans ancestors have lived in Africa in more than 5 million years, and the African continent has the unique is unique in the human history, including the land. That is what they are saying.
All right, the answer is Africa. Africa is the most irritable land. So should nobody be starving Africa? Africa is the breadbasket of the world. That's why all the food's going to China and Europe. Africa has the best land to eat just for farming. So everything, and the thing about Mama Africa, that's why it's called Mama Africa, because it can feed the world. And it still feeds the world, except for the African. Because the African has been colonized in his mind. In the land and in his mind. His mind is colonized. He doesn't know how to farm like his ancestors, because when the white man came in, told him his ancestors were backwards and morons and evil, he forgot the traditions of African people. There was no starvation in Africa, because Africa has the best irritable land. So you can't starve in that.
I wanted to ask, where do the aid get this food from? Is it still not from Africa? Yeah, they still try to transport it back right here, but I think they tend to tamper with it, then bring it, because it has chemicals now.
There's GMOs in it. The GMOs are to stop your vibration. That's everything they've done. Okay, they have chemicals in it, Joby. All these chemicals they stop your vibration, your vibrational rate. It's to keep you locked down in a reincarnation trap where you never vibrate high enough to leave this trap. Yeah, the chemicals are non-natural. You don't need any chemicals. That's why when it makes fruits and vegetables, it's all fresh. It needs no chemicals. You're not supposed to grow no fruits and vegetables with no chemicals or food.
I want to understand, does this food still come from Africa? Because where does it come from, literally? Where is it?
Well,
the food?
It didn't used to, but now it is, because remember Bill Gates and these other wicked motherfuckers are putting GMOs into Africa. So they take the food, and what they're doing, they're destroying the crops in Africa by implementing GMOs in the farmland. These non-organic seeds they're giving people that are not natural, that are not from God. See, anything that's natural, Joby, can reproduce itself. Like me and you. I have a seed. I put inside you like the woman is the fertile earth. She reproduces the seed. They're making seeds that don't reproduce themselves. They're non-natural. They're not from God. Everything can reproduce itself. That's why the woman is the earth. She's the fertile. That's why you say, is a woman's womb fertile? The man plants the seed in a woman. She gives birth. That means growth of the child. That's the natural process of God. That's why you do that also with nature. If you put a seed in the ground, it gives birth to a plant. Go ahead.
I just hope for Africans will start to value what is really ours, because we find that most of the people admire what the Europeans consume, and you find most of these foods are they are made due to chemicals. They have so many spices which might also maybe not agree with your body or even fight your body.
Those chemicals make you sick too, Joe, because it destroys those chemicals make you sick. That's what gives you cancer. That would give you all these diseases, Joby. That's where that shit came from.
Africans do not understand that, because I've really learned a lot with the family lately. We have natural spices, and when you look at these natural spices, for us, we plant them, they go recycle them, and they put some more chemicals on it, to make it, because we have natural. If you smell a plant like this, or maybe a certain leaf like this, you can feel this, spice. This is totally.
That's why you're not supposed to put chemicals on plants. The African doesn't know how to farm anymore. He puts these chemicals. See, understand the European has destroyed his farmland in America and there, because when you put chemicals into the land, it destroys the growth of food on the land. Because the owner is saying, no, what are you doing? You don't do this. So now since Africa has the most arable land, that's why they're coming by the African land to feed their people.
If you come to some parts of Africa, or like let's say like in the rural areas, like where my dad come from, so maybe where my mom comes from, we find that people still, they use the traditional ways of farming. They don't use chemicals. But if you tend to expose a little bit of what other farmers are doing, let's say like here in Nairobi, you want to do it better, you want to practice also the same. So you kind of
that's not better. That's actually stupid, because like I said, it's not better. That's you've now gone to European culture. Pull this up, Joby. Says most European land on, let's say, say does European land yield good crops? Say does European land yield good crops? And the answer is no, because they destroyed it with the chemicals.
Because and
that's why they're in Africa with all these massive farms like the fucking no good cracker down in South Africa. They transport that stuff to the world.
They're saying that, let me just get to see. We classified EU agriculture, land combining data and crops, and the land use intensity as yields levels are affected by a variety of factors such as climate. That is what they are saying.
Well,
like the climate.
European land has never really yielded crops, Joby. Understand? Before they got Africa, they was mass starving in Europe. They was impoverished. They was poor and hungry and dirty. So I'm giving you real history, not the lies you've been told about Europeans. Before the African went back up there the second time to re-educate them, they were impoverished. They were diseased because they would never wash their bodies. They were cannibals. And they were eating all kind of rats and maggots. These are Europeans. I want you to know this is their true history. Not the lies they've been told. You think they've always been great and they've been rich and living good. Those are lies. Now let's go to real history. Let's put this, Joby. Say the Black Plague and starvation of Europe. Black Plague and starvation in Europe.
Are you breaking?
So what caused the Black Plague? Damn, I'm breaking up. Hold on. I'm in a bad area. Then say, okay, what caused the Black Plague? BLACK plague, PLEQUE, and starvation in Europe. What started the Black Plague and starvation in Europe?
Right, let me check it in Europe.
Because you need to know the truth about these people. Go ahead.
They're saying that when the Black Death swept Europe in 1347, it was one of the deadliest disease outbreaks in human history, eventually killing between 1.5 Europeans. A widespread famine that weakened the population over decades could help explain the Black Death's particularly high mortality.
Now remember, Joby, this is only 700 years ago, 1,300 years. 1,300, that's only 700 years ago. So that's when you see the European didn't rule anything. It was poor, dirty, starving, and dying. So that you need to know their real history so you won't worship them. You need to know. At that time, Africa was rich, ruling the world, had colleges, so at that time, the African was not starving, was not impoverished, was not dying, but in Europe they were dying, they were starving, and they were also eating each other. They were cannibalized. So understand that. You need, go ahead.
Did you say eating each other?
Yes, eating each other. Yes, eating each other.
That's
yes.
Crazy. That is crazy.
That's why it's so important that you know their history and you won't worship these people, because you've always been told lies that these people always been on top and the white Mzungu is great. The Mzungu only broke the Black Plague, Joby, because the African told him how to wash his ass. Say, hey, dumb white man, you can't sit around here in your own filth. You must take baths. You must wash your food. This is how you farm. And you must change your clothes. The European Joby would never even change its clothes.
Okay, that is really great. I'd love to see one like way back because right now
but they have images. There are images on there. Push the images.
Right now they already have information on what to do. If they give birth, this is what they do. They already have all the details. So I'd love to see like way back, how are they, like how are they behaving? How just catching up with the whole history, like how are they, even to a certain point where you do not even change clothes, how you don't even take a shower. That is really
Imagine
crazy.
how they smell. Imagine how they stuck. The word "pardon me" came from the English language because they stunk. It was pardon me, I stink. That's where that word came from. Pardon my smell. So imagine, Joe, you laying down, they don't take baths, they don't change their clothes. That causes disease.
I don't like that. I don't like that personally. Don't like, dust or even that around me. But I do that for Africans. It's for Africans. The responsibility is left to us knowing our history and differentiating between the two. Because we have our whole history.
But when you learn that, Joby, right there, when you learn that, you learn not to worship, and they can't be your God, Joby. These people sitting in filth. They didn't wash their ass. They were eating each other. Go ahead, Joby. Go ahead.
Yes. Yesterday I was talking about the matters of history still, and I say that I remember when we were talking about Swahili being celebrated, and I say this is going to be hard because we are even ashamed of what is ours. Yet the Europeans, because I did hear on Saturday, I was out, doing some shopping. Then I had someone, as Mzungu actually, speaking Swahili very fluently, and I was like, this is really a shame. You find that even our own African people, most of us are even scared or even ashamed of even speaking Swahili. You want to know English and French and Chinese, but you find that Mzungu is more even interested in what you have, and it takes that away from you, which is
because your language is more ancient. I mean, the Swahili is older than English, older than French, older than Chinese, and yet you don't know your history. You're not taught it in school, and so you're ashamed to be who you are. I would say, you out your mind? You should be. Swahili is more ancient than any goddamn English. More ancient than any. That means you are the beginnings of civilization, African, because your language is older than Chinese, older than English. They couldn't even speak. English is not even our own language. While you were speaking, they were up there.
But let me move on to other matters of the day. I wanted to talk about one artist in Congo, who goes by the name Koffi Olomide. I think everyone knows. I don't know if you know Koffi Olomide, kid.
Yeah, we know Koffi. Yeah, I know Koffi. Of course, I know him. That's Papa. That's Papa Mambina.
The music, I love his music. He has amazing music. But right now, he has been banned in performing in Rwanda because of a case that happened in 2019 of him raping a young girl who was 15 years old. And
what? I know he got banned from Kenya. I know what he raped a young one. What? He raped. Oh shit!
19 and she was 15 years old. That was among of one of our dancers, and I think this is a question also to also the rest of the
Was he
artists.
found guilty? Was he?
Yes.
Did he do it, Joby, or just or these accusations? Did
They
he
are
really
saying that
do it?
a group of Rwandan activities have demanded that the cancellation of the Congolese musician Kofi Olomide's concert, which was scheduled on Saturday. And they're saying that they are citing the musician's 2019 convictions by a court in France for statutory a rape of one of his former dancers when she was 15, among other offenses. In a statement that the activities said are allowing the Congolese to start and perform a concert, it is like a violence, it promotes violence. So you
would have to do that. I don't see, but I don't trust any white court. I don't trust no white court. I had to go back and research that. Because they convict black people all the time of things they didn't do. I don't know. So why would he have to rape a 15-year-old girl when women are always around him because he sings? Why would he have, I don't find that credible. I don't believe this man would have to rape nobody because women throw themselves at him. Go ahead, Joby.
He also assaulted a dancer even here in Kenya in 2016.
I remember that. That wasn't sexual. What he did is wrong. He beat her or hit her or something. Now that's different. That's different than sexual assault. Sexual assault is a whole different thing.
Well, we'll follow up the story. We'll do more research to see if he is found guilty, because you might find, especially with the white rulings, and this is an African person, the case always stand at the other way around.
Exactly. That's what they do. Exactly. Don't ever trust when they say they got convicted by France. I'm like, so this is Kagame now playing ball with France. And it was the French that caused the goddamn Rwandan genocide 26 years ago.
Exactly. I was to ask you yesterday. I had you tell indicate that in Rwanda there's no corruption, and I was like, how is it that in Rwanda there's no corruption?
No, there's no corruption because Kagame is a dictator that doesn't allow corruption. There's no corruption in Rwanda. You won't find nobody. The police are not corrupt because they'll get murdered. They'll get killed. Kagame don't play that corruption shit. I'll give him that. You don't know. You can leave your purse. Check this out. Say you got purse for money, leave it at the bus stop. It won't nobody steal it. It'll be back there. You can film it. And people have done it. Because he set up a culture. Well, I give him credit. Rwanda, he set up a culture in Rwanda. Because remember, he got rid of tribalism. It's against the law in Rwanda to call yourself a tribe, Joby. That's against the law. There's no tribes in Rwanda at all. So,
do you mean to say that Rwanda is not controlled by any puppets, like any white puppets?
But he's still, yes and no. Yes, and it's still controlled, right? Because Kagame is doing their bidding, so they let him run the country the way they want to run it, because it's a small country, it's not really a threat. Because Kagame is supplying the Europeans by going into the Congo next door and getting coltan and cobalt and bringing out for the European and Chinese so they can make telephones and computers. So Kagame he's a puppet that cares about Rwanda. So he's made Rwandan society where there's advancement. Like I told you, the majority of parliament is ran by women in Rwanda, Joby. The women are in power. Not the men, the women. Even though Kagame's the president, the majority power are women. He's smart enough to know that. I told you, you don't suppress your women. Your women are your smartest. So you put them to work. If I'm a leader, I'm not going to suppress my women. I know my women make things run well. Like I told you, women multitask better than men. So when you have a woman in the society, they multitask better. So I'm not a dumb man. I'm going to say, damn, okay, even though I'm a puppet, I'm going to use my damn women. They'll make my society run better because that's their nature. They multitask better than men. So I'm not going to be, it's that he's not a dumb puppet, right? He's not a dumb puppet. So when you go to Rwanda, I'm gonna send you guys back to Rwanda anyway. When you go to Rwanda, it's organized. It's not like other African countries, all confused and all. Everything is organized and it's clean as shit. You won't find no trash. Huh?
Our countries are confused because of our leaders. We have leaders who are trying to do better, but they're not given the opportunity to. They're not
exactly right. Of course. And if any Chinese person in Rwanda talk crazy to a Rwandan, Kagame immediately throws their ass out the country and they're not ever allowed back in ever. You got no Chinese people talking to Rwandans crazy. They're immediately gone. Immediately. Your ass is out of there. I don't care if you own a store, if you own a factory that goes to Rwanda, and your ass is thrown out the country. You're thrown out. So,
but I'd say to wind up with that story as I get to another one is that artists, I think they should be careful, especially when you go to other countries, especially which is not your country, because the government or other the laws of these countries work differently, and you might do something which might get you into trouble and will work in the favor of the law itself, rather the leader.
Well, not really, as long as you understand. Like when you Rwanda, you know you're not a tribe. There's no tribalism in Rwanda.
Like Kenya, something like, if they go to like other countries, because yes, Rwanda there's no tribalism and all this, but what about like here in Kenya? We have Uhuru. We have Uhuru. We have let me say in terms of
that's why nobody celebrates Uhuru. They know he's a puppet, he's corrupt. People celebrate Kagame because when they go to Rwanda, like goddamn. You won't find no trash in the streets in Rwanda nowhere, Joby. It's clean as shit everywhere. And that's all over the whole country. So he's brought unity to the country. Listen here. Every Sunday of the last month, everybody is going to get out and make sure the country is clean, impeccable. So that causes unity within the country and stops tribalism. He says you're going to know your neighbor. You're not going to practice any tribalism. That's got to go.
Which is so rare in the rest of the African countries. I've never had
anything. Do me a favor, Joe, before we leave. Go to YouTube and put up, say, video of Kigali, Rwanda. Okay. Video of Kigali. Kigali. Videos of Kigali, Rwanda. RWANDA. And let's look at one video of Kigali, Rwanda. Tours around Kigali. Not the one Katie was showing. Katie didn't show no damn videos.
Okay.
So when I showed this right here, let me know you find it. I'm gonna play this right here. When I showed this right here, I played this right here. This is our beloved Cammy reporting from Rwanda. This is that was Cammy in Kigali. Cammy was always saying, when Cammy was doing interviews, Cammy said, amazing. That's amazing. I lost Joby. See if she comes back, y'all. See if she comes back. He did. He studied in the U.S. He was groomed in the U.S. Your mosquito at the School of America. So he's a puppet. He was groomed at the major puppet school in America. Yes. You're exactly right, you're a mosquito. He was groomed at the major puppet school in America. Wait, he was groomed at the major where they make their puppets. He was groomed where they make their puppets. He was groomed at the major puppet school called School of the Americas down here in Georgia. I'm not in Georgia yet. Down in Georgia, down in Columbus, Georgia, at Fort Bragg. Is it Fort Bragg or Fort Benning? Which one's in damn? I think it's Fort Benning. My fault. Fort Benning's in Georgia. Fort Bragg is in North Carolina. At Fort Benning, School of the Americas, where they create all their puppets. And where you had the Venezuelan puppet Juan Guaido trained. See if Joby comes back, y'all. I don't know. Oh shit. Still waiting. I don't know. I think Joby done bailed on us. She should have came back by now. So past her hour. She's like, no, I'm getting off and give it to Kate. Please come back. But family, I'm gonna get off of here. Come back about 30 more minutes for Katie. Katie be back on here about 30 minutes as she sets up her show. And I see everybody back in about 30 minutes. Don't be scared to grab the link. Come in and share your day. Shit. Grab a link. Come in and join the conversation. Nothing to be scared of. Sometimes grab that link and join the conversation. Because my voice is gone. I got to take a whole month out to get my voice back. My voice is messed up. So I'll see everybody in about a half an hour. Much love, family.